Memorandum of Understanding signed between Bangladesh and Pakistan to prevent illegal trafficking and misuse of narcotics and psychotropic substances. Government not let go unpunished any crime against humanity, says Information and Broadcasting Minister. Bangladesh calls for strengthening global cooperation to protect rights of migrants, reduce costs of migration and increase migrants' access to justice at United Nations International Migration Review Forum. Rabindranath Tagore's 165th birth anniversary today. Poet's birth anniversary celebrated across country with various programs. State-owned oil refinery Eastern Refinery resumes operations after remained closed for 26 days after crude fuel oil stock ran out. Ceasefire to continue despite retaliatory attacks between US and Iran in Hormuz Strait, says Trump. Fuel oil prices rising in world market. And in Mirpur, Bangladesh scored 301 runs for 4 wickets against Pakistan at the end of first day of first test of 2-match series. Assalamu alaikum. This is Faria Dilshadmo welcoming all to News at 10. Those are the highlights. Now let's move on to the news in details. Bangladesh and Pakistan signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU to strengthen bilateral cooperation in preventing illicit drug trafficking, narcotics abuse and money laundering. The agreement was signed at a hotel in the capital today. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed and Pakistan's Interior Minister Syed Mohsin Raza Naqvi signed a deal. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed said, in addition to signing the agreement, discussion was held to make effective relationship between two countries. Both the countries agreed to enhance cooperation through intelligence sharing, technical assistance and coordinated anti-narcotics operations to combat trafficking and abuse of narcotic drugs, psychotropic substances and terrorism. The important deal was signed also to extend cooperation to curb terrorism. Intelligence agencies of both the countries will conduct activities based on mutual requests and coordinated cooperation. The agreement also includes cooperation in the use of modern equipment and sniffer dogs for detecting concealed drugs. Under the framework of the MOU, Bangladesh's Department of Narcotics Control and Pakistan's Anti-Narcotics Force will serve as focal points for operational coordination and regular information exchange. The MOU will remain valid for 10 years from the date of signing and might be extended further through mutual agreement. Information and Broadcasting Minister Johiruddin Shapon has said the government will not allow any crime against humanity from 1971 genocide to Shapla Chottor massacre to go unpunished. He said this at a program organized to commemorate the May 5 Shapla Chottor massacre at National Museum Auditorium this afternoon. The minister said government will fulfill its responsibility towards Shapla martyrs. Leaders of different political parties including BNP, Jamaat Islami, Hefazat Islami and National Citizen Party NCP participated in program organized by Shapla Memorial Society. The cover of the book Shohid Nama, which contains the martyrdom of those who were martyred in the Hefazat Islam movement at Shapla Chottor, was unveiled at the event. Johiruddin Shapon said that BNP was the first to call the Shapla massacre a genocide. The fascist government used the media to create a false narrative about the Shapla Chottor incident. It accused BNP leaders in false cases in this incident, he added. Education Minister A.N.M. Ehsanul Haq Milan has emphasized strengthening strategic ties and increasing cooperation between Bangladesh and China in digital economy, infrastructure and green energy sectors in the current global situation. He made the remarks today while speaking at a roundtable meeting titled China-Bangladesh Roundtable on Governance Experience held in the capital. State Minister for Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives, Mir Shah Alam, Director General of Bangladesh Institute of International and Strategic Studies, Major General ASM Redaunur Rahman, Chinese Ambassador in Dhaka Yao Wen, President of Shanghai Institutes for International Studies, Dr. Shen Dongxiao, and Vice Chancellor of Dhaka University, Professor A.B.M. Obaidul Islam, among others, were present. Highlighting China's experience as helpful for Bangladesh's development and reform process, the Education Minister said partnership between the two countries could play an important role in ensuring economic restructuring, food and energy security and prosperity in South Asia. He also expressed commitment to working jointly with China to improve the quality of education. Necessary steps would be taken to enhance cooperation in education, technology and language learning between Bangladesh and China, added the Education Minister. Education Minister Dr. Ehsanul Haq Milan has said that in line with the election manifesto, the BNP government is working to implement various plans across the country, including the One Teacher, One Tab initiative, mandatory multimedia classrooms, third language education, and the inclusion of sports and indigenous culture in the curriculum. He made these remarks today at an event organized on the occasion of the 44th meeting of the Bangladesh Book Publishers and Sellers Association at the Abdul Karim Sahitya Bisharad Auditorium of Bangla Academy in the capital. The Education Minister said that the government of Prime Minister Tariq Rahman is committed to improving the quality of education, expanding knowledge-based learning and building a modern technology-driven education system. At the event, he urged book publishers and sellers to work as complementary partners in advancing the country's education system, emphasizing the Prime Minister's priority on expanding education nationwide. He also called on publishers to be more sincere in ensuring that students receive their textbooks at the very beginning of the academic year. State Minister for Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives, Mir Shah Alam, and State Minister for Liberation War Affairs, Ishraq Hussain, spoke as special guests at the event. Association President and Member of Parliament Razaul Karim Badshah chaired the program. Bangladesh has called for stronger global cooperation to curb irregular migration, protect migrant rights, and ensure fair recruitment, decent work, and equitable wages for migrant workers worldwide. Expatriates Welfare and Overseas Employment Minister Ariful Haq Chowdhury made the call while addressing the general debate of the Second International Migration Review Forum at the United Nations headquarters in New York City on Thursday. The minister said Bangladesh was strengthening accountability and expanding migrants' access to justice through a whole-of-government and whole-of-society approach. He said the government had constituted a migration compact task force and adopted a national action plan for 2026 to 2030 to advance safe, orderly and regular migration under the United Nations Global Compact for Migration. Ariful said Bangladesh had already fulfilled 7 of its 10 commitments made at the first review forum, submitted 6 new pledges, and joined 2 regional initiatives while presenting its first voluntary national review on implementation of the Global Compact for Migration. Highlighting climate change as an increasingly significant driver of migration, he called for predictable financing and enhanced technical support for climate-vulnerable countries. The minister also reaffirmed Bangladesh's commitment to working closely with international partners to promote safe migration and ensure dignified return and sustainable reintegration of migrants. The 165th birth anniversary of Vishwakobi Rabindranath Tagore is being celebrated nationally today. Tagore was born on 25 Boishakh 1268 in the Bengali calendar at the Jorashako mansion in Kolkata. A poet, philosopher, playwright and painter, Tagore remains one of the most influential cultural figures of South Asia. In 1913, he became the first Asian to be awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature for Gitanjali, a collection of deeply spiritual and lyrical poems that brought him international acclaim. The Ministry of Cultural Affairs is observing the day nationwide with due dignity and festivity. State programs are being organized in areas associated with the poet's memory, including Shilai Daho in Kushtia. A 3-day national program has been arranged. Similar cultural events are also being held in Potishor of Nauga and Shahjatpur of Sirajganj. Bangladesh Shilpakala Academy also chalked out special cultural programs. Educational institutions across the country also observed the occasion through cultural functions, discussion meetings and essay competitions. The Ministry of Cultural Affairs and Bangla Academy have undertaken initiatives to publish and distribute commemorative souvenirs and posters marking the poet's 165th birth anniversary. Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives Minister and BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said that Nobel laureate Rabindranath Tagore made remarkable contributions across all fields of literature. He described Tagore as such a creative personality that even a lifetime of study would not be enough to fully discover him. He made these remarks today at an event organized at Potishor in Nauga marking the 165th birth anniversary of Rabindranath Tagore. He said, Rabindranath was a poet of secular consciousness. Those who tried to portray him as communal lack proper understanding. He was not only a poet but also a philosopher. Speaking at the event held at the Potishor Kachari Bari premises, Mirza Fakhrul Islam said that Rabindranath Tagore had introduced agricultural banking activities and promoted the concept of modern farming for the development of farmers in Potishor. He added that the current government is working for the development of agriculture and farmers by embracing the poet's vision. The event, organized by the Nauga District Administration with support from the Ministry of Cultural Affairs, was chaired by Rajshahi Divisional Commissioner Dr. A.N.M. Buzlur Rashid. Special guests included Land Minister Mizanur Rahman Minu, National Parliament Whip M. Ruhul Quddus Talukdar Dulu and State Minister for Cultural Affairs Ali Nawaz Mahmood Khayyam. Nauga Deputy Commissioner Muhammad Saiful Islam delivered the welcome speech. Members of Parliament from different constituencies of Nauga, senior government officials, cultural personalities and admirers of Rabindranath were also present at the event. Professor Dr. Muhammad Harun or Rashid of the Department of Islamic History and Culture at the Rajshahi University spoke at the event as a discussant. A program titled Rabindranath, the Poet of Peace and Humanity, was inaugurated at Shilpakala Academy in the capital today, marking the 165th birth anniversary of Rabindranath Tagore. Information and Broadcasting Minister Johiruddin Shapon opened the 4-day program. Director General of the Academy Rizauddin Ahmed presided over the function. Educationist Professor Abdullah Abu Said, State Minister for Social Welfare Farzana Sharmin Putul and Dhaka University Vice Chancellor Dr. A.B.M. Obaidul Islam were present as special guests. The program will remain open for all from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. every day. The function includes Tagore's plays, songs, poetry, duets and dances. Despite ongoing global economic instability and geopolitical crisis, Bangladesh's economy continues to show positive trends. In particular, remittance inflows have recorded significant growth in the current fiscal year, pushing the country's foreign exchange reserves above $35 billion. Analysts say that despite the global crisis, expatriates are sending remittances through legal channels, mainly because of government incentives and favorable exchange rates. Analysts also noted that expatriates are gradually gaining greater confidence in banking channels, while strict government monitoring has reduced illegal hundi transactions. However, they warned that high import costs and pressure from foreign debt repayments could create new strain on reserves, making it necessary to remain cautious in preserving them. According to analysts, the increase in reserves and remittance inflows is positive for the economy. However, they cautioned that prolonged tensions in the Middle East could create future risks. Overall, analysts believe that the continued growth in remittances is playing an important role in easing the country's dollar crisis and meeting import payment obligations. After remaining closed for 26 days due to a shortage of crude oil, the main plant of state-owned Eastern Refinery Limited has resumed operations. The country's only government-owned fuel refinery restarted production after receiving a new supply of crude oil. Eastern Refinery Managing Director said on Friday that production activities began again this morning. He said crude oil was being transferred to the refinery from a tanker near Qutubdia Channel through lightering operations. The plant started at 8 a.m. It will take a few hours to complete the process before full production begins, he added. Sources said the tanker MT Ninamia carrying 1 lakh tons of crude oil arrived at the Qutubdia Channel on Wednesday after avoiding the Strait of Hormuz. It was the first crude oil shipment to arrive in Bangladesh since the war began in the Middle East. Due to the war and the shortage of crude oil, Eastern Refinery shut down its crude oil distillation unit temporarily on 12th April. Now moving on to international news.